When I go thrifting with somebody, if I like leave the thrift shop and then I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna go wash my hands, and they're just like, I'll just wait here. It bothers the fuck out of me.
That's
wash your damn hands.
Yeah. It bothers. It's like
need to wash your hands.
Have you ever told someone to wash their hands?
I'm already going. Like, you can walk with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we can hold.
You have incentive.
We can hold our germy hands until we get there.
Well, it doesn't even like stay there. It extends to like anyone walking out of the restroom without washing their hands.
Yeah.
That anybody who uses the restroom without washing their hands can't,
Like, I've seen
you can't sit with us.
I've seen guys at Saddleback go to the bathroom, come out, fix their hair with their shit-stained fingers, and then
you see the little shit flakes in their hair.
No, yeah, that happens all the time. Like when I'm at school and I'm like in a stall, and I hear a stall just like I hear them go. You could audibly hear that they're not making it in the toilet. And then they just open the door. They're doing like that. That's
people
like
that exist.
No, yeah, that's like the main sign of like someone who's just like, yeah, I'm tough. They're just sniffing all the time, and then they're like, doing that. I don't know how that makes you tougher. It's like
I made a fucking mess. I missed the toilet.
No, but yeah, they like they look in the mirror, like stick out their jaw, like look around, and then they just walk out.
Why is it macho to prove that you failed potty training?
Exactly.
It's just like...
Welcome back to the SuScast. We're your SuSquad. I'm Andrew.
I'm John.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Ryan.
And today we have a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please welcome to the stand, one, Nate.
Hi.
Good podcasting.
Thank you.
Happy birthday cake!
Yeah, but I went to high school with Nate.
So did we.
I went to elementary
You
school.
didn't go to high school with Nate.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, no, I'm a big boy.
I know.
So
Yeah, but me and John went to elementary school together.
Nate is currently a senior in high school, so we get a different opinion from someone. This is our first high school on the podcast.
A youngin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
You have to speak a bit louder.
I'm doing okay.
Thank you.
I'm just a little nervous.
Scoot a little closer to the
What are
mic,
nervous
would you?
for?
I'm nervous because, I don't know, I've never been recorded.
Ever?
In my
your
life.
entire life?
Yeah, I took a vow to stay off the grid.
Oh,
And
okay. Were you witness protection, or?
No, just my
No.
dad told me.
This
Word of advice. I think he might be. Haven't
Okay.
seen him in a while.
This is going to be
This is
referenced in
funny,
several court cases to come.
All right.
So just make this worth it.
Okay. I got you.
In actuality, it's been about like 45 days since we've done our last podcast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we recorded all of them before we released the first episode, and we were just waiting to do the next one. So here we are. And
Lots changed.
A lot's changed. Andrew's bald.
head.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm bald now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Baldy.
no one can really see from your caricature though that you're bald. You're just wearing a hat. But as always, we're gonna start it off with our pizza review. This place is a little new-ish place in San Clemente next to the old Krikorian Theater called TJ's Woodfire Pizza. We got ourselves a little smashing deal.
Yeah, we there was a coupon that we received in the mail. It was like a family dinner, so you get garlic knots with, oddly enough, ranch and regular marinara sauce.
Ranch?
The garlic
Ranch.
knots
Ranch.
were beast.
The garlic
They
knots
were beast from the east.
They're okay.
They're
Beast mode. Marshawn Lynch, dude.
Ain't the least mode, I tell you what.
Oh.
It also came with a Caesar salad, which
It
a lot.
was kind of wet.
was very.
Like I don't know. I like my lettuce with like crunch.
Jesus Christ, Sarah, what the fuck? Oh my god! She was standing out there looking at us. I'm like, oh my god.
Bye, Sarah.
This is your one and only shot to get on the podcast. Come on. Alright, for reference, my sister was standing outside looking like a movie horror villain, looking inside at us doing the podcast.
Did you enjoy that? Was that fun?
My heart actually stopped for a second.
I mean,
think.
I was in the middle of a thought, but I guess.
We're talking about wet lettuce, Sarah.
Yeah.
For a little while.
I heard as I was saying, I like my lettuce with like crunch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when it's all floppy and wet, I just feel like I'm just like I was like swimming in the ocean and my mouth was open too long. You know what I'm saying?
Full of
Speaking
Caesar.
of the
Yeah.
flop, let's get down to the flop.
Yeah, the actual pizza.
All right.
Yeah.
So we had. All right, guys. I know it's episode 4. It's a little early to be breaking the rules, but we got a pepperoni. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. We're
It
gonna
was
own
part
up
of the
to
deal.
it.
I thought
part
it
of
was.
the deal,
I
which
thought it was a good idea.
I do want to bring up
Yeah.
the deal was $28, $28.45.
$28 came out to $30 plus tax, and then of course like pizza place tip, whatever.
Yeah.
But came out to $30 for a pepperoni pizza, sizable, Caesar salad, and some garlic knots.
All right. Now nobody gives a fuck about that. What they care about is was it good? And fellas, was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It's good.
It was my
I
favorite.
like
pizza.
It was your favorite?
It was your
favorite.
favorite.
Yeah.
I
That's not my
knew you
favorite.
didn't like
I
it.
think-
I knew.
Busty.
Yeah.
You
I
didn't-
didn't have a reason.
I
I-
like both
I-
of
All right, hold on. Thoughts. Thoughts.
Wait, cabrón.
Both Jordan and Nate want to speak, so I'm gonna let Jordan.
Cállate feo.
Mi niño.
All right. No, I had behind the scenes footage when you guys, everybody was kind of sitting down waiting. I was watching them cook it. They had like a bunch of sticks. They just kind of like rubbed it on the pizza. And
rolling like a
no, like they had like sticks, like
Okay.
something like Blair Witch Project, like bunch of.
Can I interject?
What the fuck are you talking about?
May I interject?
No, okay.
No, please, may I interject?
There's just a bunch of sticks, and they did like a little shape.
Interject.
It wasn't like salt and pepper.
Let
No,
the boy
yeah.
interject.
It was just-
Okay.
Imagine like
guys,
no.
My dad used to, when I was like 3, he'd get tree branches from our backyard, put them in his nose, and he'd say, "I'm a tree monster." And he'd
You were
chase me.
never gonna be allowed to interject.
And I was
in this
naked,
podcast.
and I was naked.
Okay, you're allowed to interject.
Wow.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, but they weren't naked. They weren't naked, but they were holding like a teeth branch. Yeah, and they just did like a little shaky shake on the pizza. Like they blessed the
Shakey's
pizza.
Pizza. High five, dude.
Yeah.
Bunch of lunch, bunch of potatoes.
They either they blessed it or something. They did something, but they did
They were
something.
putting seasoning on it.
What about their
That's what I
Jewish
was-
customers?
No, that's what I was gonna say. I thought the crust was like very well seasoned.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
and that's
a
why
very-
they blessed it. Like they did a little Santa Maria, you know.
Something like
Send me the name of the
Yeah.
Papa,
Somebody-
the Hut, and the Holy
Holy
Caesar.
And no,
And the Holy
but
Caesar.
it just made the pizza. It was very seasoned well.
Very seasoned.
It was
but
a
not
little
over.
It was a little greasy, but it was that was
super
easy to
greasy.
fix.
It was like a
almost-
But that was
pool.
easy to
It was
fix.
almost spicy.
It was really good. The crust to cheese ratio was
Well,
good.
Here's what's unique about the pizza: they dusted the crust, which
It
like
was
it
very
had.
dusted, which I liked.
It was dusted, but like the thick, not like the
Yeah.
like dusty, but
Grains
like
of
grainy.
It was good because it was unique, and it did it right.
Okay, I agree with you on like the ratio part, but honestly, for me, the texture of the crust.
That was a burnt piece
It
of
was,
bread.
it was pretty like
It
tough.
was-
It
No.
was kind
That
of
was a
tough.
pretty burnt
I
piece
won't
of
fight that. That's,
Yeah.
That was a toaster of a
pan.
pizza.
Ain't no pan bueno. On
Are
that
you saying it was a
thing.
That was
Blaze pizza?
impeccable Spanish. I give it a 5.7.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
I'll
reasonable.
go next. Yeah, it was a burnt piece of garbage, except the cheese. Yum cheese. But
Wait, are you gonna say Blaze Pizza is a burnt pizza?
literally, that is the Blaze pizza of
Specialty
gourmet.
pizza.
Yeah, of special. That was what I was
I
exactly
disagree.
what I was thinking. I was like, wow, this.
No. Like,
No. The cheese quality, good. The sauce quality, good.
The
The
salsa.
seasoning, okay. But if your bread is literally charcoal,
It wasn't charcoal.
It wasn't charcoal.
did you look at the bottom of that hoe?
That.
Oh.
Did you crank that soldier boy?
Okay. Oh,
No,
God.
like she was not it.
She wasn't.
It was a 5.
Give us a number fast.
a 5.9. 5.9.
That was
Okay,
more
if you
generous.
hated it,
And
it was
from my
better
mouth.
than It's a Pizza.
What?
If you act like you hated it, but you're rating it above average.
Above? Well, it's a pizza. Yeah. Because
Above?
literally, no, like the bread. I'm telling you, it had a bunch of great aspects, but the bitch was burnt.
Oh, now you're gonna use racial slurs on our my pizza.
What?
I'm getting out of here.
it's getting too hot.
I'm gonna give it a 7. Solid 7. I liked it a lot.
8.8.
But I will agree.
8.8.
Yeah.
This is coming from Costco Cold Boy.
Oh, okay.
We're bringing it up every single fucking episode, huh?
I'm a lot looser on the pizzas. I thought it was really good.
Nate's significant other was very critical of you for liking cold pizza. She
When?
She
Oh,
texted me that who was the fucking retard that liked a cold pizza.
I like cold pizza.
No,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I probably shouldn't tell her that.
That preferred a cold pizza.
Now that I think about it, refrigerated pizza, alright, but that
Okay.
No.
that
Yeah. Okay.
pizza
I can
was-
agree. A Costco pizza refrigerated is gross because last time I had a Costco
No.
pizza,
Who the fuck are you people?
a cold Costco pizza. is gross.
Cold from the oxygen of nature is
No.
terrible.
Yeah, that's what you
No,
said
I-
that you
No,
liked.
Oxygen's
I
only
looked it up.
16% of the
No,
atmosphere.
no,
Give me the rest.
I looked it up.
Hydrogen.
Pizza actually settles,
Yes.
like, and the flavors come out more when it sits. I looked it up. I got really bored once.
Do you think me of all people care about your facts?
So Jordan gives it an 8.8. I'm gonna give it a 7.2.
Wow.
7.2.
Alright.
It was like,
Freaks.
I'm not going to remember it in a week. I'm not going to remember the taste.
I'm not gonna remember it tomorrow.
I would eat there again.
I would eat there again for
Straight
sure.
up
Oh,
eat
yeah.
there.
I
Well,
would
how
eat
much-
their salad, even though it was wet, good. Their
Garlic
knots,
knots were.
very good.
They're not so burnt.
And then the pizza with, and plus like what? How much was that? $30?
Yeah.
So $10 a thing. I mean, I'd rather just buy the garlic knots on their own. You know.
On them all.
Have you ever had garlic knots? Have you ever had garlic knots with ranch before? That was new to me.
That was
No,
yeah,
and
that was
that's
cool.
a disgrace to
This
Italian
man,
food.
I was like,
I mind
can
it.
I explain real quick? So I'm trying to eat my pizza.
You
and since
never
it's a burnt piece
asked.
of crap, I'm just like, I need some ranch on this bitch, right? So Jordan's got the ranch all to
You
his
never
lonesome,
asked.
And I say, Jordan,
Yes,
can I
yes.
borrow the ranch? And he said yes. And so I took the ranch and I poured a little baby
Yeah,
on it.
and then you were
so
done
I took
with
a
it.
bite.
And then you were done with
dragged
it.
it away from me.
Because you were
And
done
then
with it.
You dipped your fucking crust in there, bitch. And you took a bite. And then you double dipped this shit. And I was like, and then I went, Jordan, so you claim that off to yourself? You're just like, hey, like the classic Jordan you are, motherfucker.
You dip your fucking crust. You do it.
What's the range for you guys to see that sad?
Nothing changes but the faces, the names, and the trends. High school never ends.
All right, so since we're a bunch of people outside of the high school spectrum, but we have one person, one special guest who's just about to end his high school career, we figured we'd talk about our high school memories, specifically the terrible ones. So I don't want to talk about this.
For Nate the youngin.
Am I
Would you
starting?
like to go? Yeah.
Yeah, Nate,
Alright.
you go first.
This
Let
is
the people know.
Special guest.
Okay.
Mr. Senior.
Well,
we don't even know what he's gonna say.
Well,
so
for me,
we
high
react
school
to this too.
for me, high school memories, they feel a lot more recent than probably to you guys because you guys are in a new era, but I'm still within the same epoch. So,
Good word.
thank you.
Did you learn that in lit? AP
No,
Lit?
I learned it.
Since you're in high school?
Well, yeah, that's true, but I haven't taken that yet.
Okay,
That's in a week.
so you did lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I get my first. Okay. I can't think of many embarrassing stories, but there is one that still haunts me. So it's freshman year, and I'm just gonna start off the story with just a little bit about myself, like going into high school. Like when I was going into high school, I always wanted to be like the funny guy. Not like the obnoxious funny guy, but like a
Like
guy.
Andrew.
Yeah, like Andrew.
Yeah,
But-
high five.
Exhibit A. And so, I don't know, I guess, like, everyone else had someone going for him, like, oh, he's a sporty guy, she's popular. I just wanted to be the funny guy, And,
She's
I-
a bad bitch.
yeah, it also made my sense of humor really particular. So, like, since I was trying so hard to be funny, it's like when someone else would, like, be funny and like unintentionally, I get like really jealous. And also when it comes to like
Jesus Christ.
Also when it comes to like just people in general, like I don't get jealous about anything unless like the only thing I get jealous about is like if you say like someone else is funny. Like if like I'm totally can come to terms with like let's like I don't know, let's say I'm trying to impress a girl, and she says like, oh, that guy's so hot, I'd be like, yeah, that's true. You know? but if she says like, oh, he's so funny, I'd kind of like die inside. You know, and I know that's kind of like ridiculous because there could be more than one person that's funny.
I'm the funny boy.
Yeah, but that was just kind of like an inner bias. That
someone says knock knock and they go
no. Are you getting real jealous of Andrew?
Yeah. No, but yeah, over the years I've been trying to get rid of that. But I'd say freshman year, I was really reliant on my sense of humor because I was also on crutches for most of it because I had some medical issues. So like basically my only sense of identity to other people was my sense of humor. So this is where the story begins. It was biology class.
We're cutting everything that you said before.
This is important. So it's biology class, right? And in this class, I don't know what it is, but like you know, like those classes where like the teacher like just doesn't like care at all. Oh yeah. So you could just say whatever you want and like be yourself and be funny. Sure. You know. Yeah. So and I think it's just because she was new, she's young, she's intimidated by I guess puberty. You know. Just
testosterone filled teenagers.
Exactly. She just didn't want to get in the way of nature. So I don't know. This was like one of my main classes freshman year where I try to make people laugh and get them to think that I'm funny. And I remember one time we were all in like our lab groups. Yeah. And I'm like sitting with my group and I'm like cracking a few jokes. It's not like I just said, these aren't like knock knock jokes, but it's like I don't know. I guess it's like how I talk.
They're your mama jokes.
Exactly. And so there was this one other guy that transferred into that class, I'd say second semester. I'm not going to give his name, but
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, we'll call him Will. And I had no quarrels with this guy. It's just that right when he came, it's like everyone started laughing at him, and I was like usually the funny guy, like first semester. So second semester, this guy gets transferred into this class and starts stealing my thunder. Of course, unintentionally, because it's not like he came in there just to like ruin me. But, and I know this kind of sounds really selfish. That's why I've been trying to forget it. But, and okay. So what is unique about this guy is that my high school is predominantly either of Latino descent or of Caucasian descent.
35% Latino.
Pretty 50-50.
Yeah. Well, and there's always like a few of African descent, correct?
Yeah,
there's just a couple. And this guy that was transferred in was of African descent, which didn't even like cross my mind at all. Like, I don't care. But the thing that just struck me,
guys, it's not racist.
I didn't care. I didn't care at all.
He doesn't see color.
But it's like I don't like he was those people that like use their
race
ethnicity as their humor. He was definitely the kind of guy to use that sort of charisma as his sense of humor solely. Yeah. And that kind of like made me jealous because he did. It seems like he didn't even try. And Andrew, you told me something similar like about me when you first met me.
That how crutches became
since I was on crutches, like people laughed at me more. Yeah. It's similar to that. And like looking back, I would laugh at me too. Yeah. Because I just look so helpless.
But the thing is that you didn't use. Yeah, sometimes you would because they're good products.
Let's get to the embarrassment.
Okay.
Yeah. Judgment.
Okay, so
I'm kidding.
So, like, look, I'm so, like, I hate how I said this, but he's, like, in another lab group, and he's, like, making people laugh really hard, and also, like, the people he's making laugh, I didn't like, they were, like, the jocks that, like, pretended that they were better than everyone else, So like that rubbed me the wrong way. I was probably having a bad day anyways, waking up with back pain, like any other day, and so I thought I meant to say this in my head, but I didn't, and it slipped out like a whisper that the entire class heard.
A whisper to yourself or a whisper to other people?
A whisper like to myself, but like my lab group heard it, and I heard everyone. Here, I'll just
Go
say
for
it.
it. Do it.
So he's cracking jokes about his like his dad or lack thereof, and and
Cut that part out.
I don't know, and like he was just doing that, and everyone was dying laughing, and I was just so jealous that he could just do that so effortlessly, and under my breath, I just said, like, man, I wonder if they'd be laughing if he wasn't black.
Oh no! Why?
Yeah. And like I meant to say that in my head, and like I just like I
You
whispered
said that
it.
your freshman year.
Yeah, yeah, and I just whispered it, and like my table group like looks at me, and then like I'm still doing my work. I'm like, why are you guys looking at me? And then I like look up, and him and his table is all looking at me. And oh my god! And he gets up out of his like table group, and just an FYI, me and this person Will, we're like totally fine now. Like over the past few years, like we say hi to each other, and like we don't care.
For a second, I thought you disclosed his name, but then I was like, wait, Farrell.
No, yeah.
Remember. Okay, go ahead.
Or Smith, I forgot which one it was. But anyways, like we're totally good now. I wouldn't say we're friends, but like we say hi to each other. There's no tension whatsoever.
What did he do?
He got up out of his chair, and he's like starts like walking towards me, and I'm like, oh shit, because I'm like scared of this guy, and I'm also on crutches, and I know like my teacher is not.
Okay, what else could he do?
What?
If he can't put you in crutches, you're already.
Maybe like a wheelchair. I don't know.
I've already had everything stripped from me. You can't take anything.
Yeah.
He just takes some.
No, but that's what he said. He like comes up to me and he says like, "What'd you just say?" And I'm like, I didn't mean it like that." Yeah. Anyways, he walks up to me and he's like, "What'd you say?" And I'm like kind of like shaking, and I'm like, freshman year Nate just like on the verge of tears, like, oh my god, did I say that out loud? Oh my god. And I'm like trying to hold it in, and he's like, little man, I'll break your other hip. And
No, he said that.
yeah, I don't know if he said little man, but he definitely threatened to break my other hip. And then that's when the teacher walks over, and she's very like scared.
She's like, black person.
Help.
She's like,
Orange County.
she's like, please don't break my hip.
No, and I felt so bad, and she walks up and she's like, I'm sure he just meant your type of charisma.
So wait, she heard it too?
Oh yeah.
No, under your breath.
I said.
What
it.
is this under your breath?
Okay,
I
I said it.
under his breath. I wonder if.
I said it not loud at all, but it was like one of like when there's just silence throughout the room.
I fucking hate that.
Just randomly. That happened right as I said it, and that's when I looked up and I saw everyone looking at me, and I felt so embarrassed. and she's like, oh, I'm sure he just meant charisma, and he's like, and then
That teacher bailed you the fuck out.
I know, and I'm like, yeah, exactly, that's what I meant, and then Will just looks at me and he's like, okay, but I got my eyes on you, and he just like walked away, but I don't know if he was trying to make a joke there either, because
Do I know him?
No,
Okay.
but it's like the next week it was like no one remembered, and I was fine with him.
Damn.
It was just something I said that I like totally regretted
And
saying.
then you looked at the
it
camera
totally
and you
came
said,
off.
I really did it this time, and they said, life is unfair.
It's just something I like looking back. I'm like, why did I say that? Because it made me sound so dumb, But, anyways,
All right.
that's my story. It feels good to get it off
It
my
was
chest.
a good story.
it was
Oh,
a good story.
and that later that day I had comedy sports practice.
Oh, and you
And
didn't say anything about it.
I didn't, because I walked in and I was like, and I was still shaken up. I was still shaken up from it. But like as always, that made me feel a lot better.
Life is unfair.
I'm gonna do like the start of the downfall and then like the rock bottom for me, like with my like social status in high school, because I started out at a pretty like neutral high, whatever. Like I was sort of just friends with everybody.
Yeah.
And then I started to have like an identity crisis in sophomore year because I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm just copying everybody in terms of like who I am and what my personality is. If someone was being like funny and goofy and I'm like, I wake up feeling like I want to be this guy, I would try to imitate him. It just wouldn't come off well. I wanted to hang out with some of the friends that I hung out with at school, but I never really did. I got one chance to do it outside of school, and basically had him meet me out front of these apartments in Ladera, and it was just, I had him walk there. And I was waiting for him, and all we did was just talk, and he totally wasn't into it because it's like, at that point, you hang out with an ensemble of friends. It's not really like, if you're hanging out for the first time, you don't really want it to be a one-on-one. That's just awkward. So I'm just like trying to bring up these conversation topics, and he's like, yeah. Yeah. It was like a 15-minute walk to Brugger's Bagels in Ladera, and I buy him a bagel.
You bought him a bagel?
I bought him a bagel.
Was it a date?
I think he thought I was gay after that point. That's why it was so embarrassing.
Why did you offer to buy him a bagel?
Yeah, that's...
I don't know why. I was awkward. This is like the beginning of my identity crisis, so I didn't know who I was to be in that moment.
You felt inclined to buy him a bagel.
Yes.
Hanging out with
yes.
him?
I don't know. This is mind you.
Ryan, I'm sorry.
Mind you, this is like just not me. This is like weird me. I buy him a bagel, and we eat our bagels in silence. And on the TV, there's this fucking news report on CNN about the new iPhone coming out at the time. And I just like say something about that. I'm like, huh? And he's like, yeah. And we fucking walk back the same way we come. And I think we're just silent after that second portion of the walk, and it's like another 15 minutes. And we get to the top of the hill. He's like, oh, should I call like this person or this person? I didn't like them at the time, so I told him no. I told him no because I didn't.
Another bagel.
I didn't like those people, so I told him not to call them. He's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go. I gotta go around this point. I'm like, all right, see ya. I feel like I knew at the very start that I blew it, and I just wanted to ride it out and just be like, I'm gonna repress this.
It just sounds like a date.
Yes!
Yeah.
And I don't know why I fucking did that, but I just did it. And that totally just like ruined my perception in high school. Then I'm sure he told everybody else, and then like that's when everybody started ignoring me and stuff. And fucking the last time I ever sat with them at lunch, like anytime you know you're being forced out of a friend group if you ever chime in and no one talks no one talks to you and they just keep going with what they were saying. And one of my really really nice friends who doesn't deserve any shit said something funny, and he's a bit of darker skin complexion, like Middle Eastern descent. He said a joke, and I was like, it's funny because he's a terrorist, right?
What's up with all this race stuff?
Okay, in high school, it was...
This is right after 9/11.
And everyone
This was the week of 9/11, the Boston bombing,
it probably
Oklahoma City.
He was white.
I literally.
They're all the same.
I literally like everyone looked at me after that point, and they're just like, "Get the fuck out!" with their faces. They didn't say anything, and I just literally like, "All right, I'm out of here," and I never sat at the table again. And anytime I would sit next to them in class, I would just get this hot wash of shame and bring me back to like the several... Mind you, these are like the 2 of maybe 15 memories I've had that still like give me like shivers down my spine.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you do listen to this podcast, I'd be surprised. Thank you. Because you know who you are, and I fucking...
I'll buy you another bagel.
I'll buy you another goddamn bagel.
At least kiss me this time, Jesus. You're gonna put out.
I honestly thought he thought I was gay, and I'm like, wow, that was not a good decision, was it? But I just felt really fucking stupid after that throughout high school, and then
Want some cream cheese?
Andrew,
It's got chives.
Andrew's gonna back me up on this one because he knows a lot more than I do because I've repressed it a lot. But I think the icing on the cake for high school for me was when I auditioned for Comedy Sports.
Is it okay if I talk about this?
It's okay if you talk about it. I will take the fucking hit.
Okay, so
But
me and Ryan...
I had this thing where Andrew, I used to kind of like make fun of Andrew a little bit.
Yeah, you were
and
kind of mean.
I was kind of look. I
You
kind
and Zach
of
were
look.
really mean.
I kinda look-
over Skype.
I kind of looked down on Andrew a little bit, and Andrew, I found out he was a Comedy Sports tour.
Andrew was mean to me, so it was kind of like a try.
So I go, and then I was nice to you, Link Crew. Yeah. But I kind of looked down on Andrew a little bit. And his brother, because I hung up with his brother all the time. He's like, "Oh yeah, he's in Comedy Sports," and I'm like, "He's in Comedy Sports?" And mind you, Andrew was in like this was sophomore year, and
I
this
was going to my junior year.
he was going into his junior year, and we were on like a Skype call at the time, and I'm like, "Well, if he can make it, I can make it."
Is that what you were thinking? Is that really what you were thinking, or is that just what you said?
It's what I said.
Okay, the exact words were we're in the call, and I was like excited because even though Ryan was mean to me sometimes. I felt like he was my friend, and so I was like excited that Ryan would be in Comedy Sports with me. But then Ryan said something. He said this. He said, "Well, if you could make it, then I should make it," or something like that.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was.
took it, but it may have even been a little worse than that. I don't know because like I remember it just really making me think like, wait, what the fuck? You think it was easy for me to make that team? Because when I tried out freshman year, I remember just being like, it was hard. I tried out, and I felt like, yeah, I'm not. There's no reason I should make this team. I did really bad.
I didn't know at the time it was so like people were actually funny because I didn't go to a game, but like it just keep going, please.
Okay, so I was a little, and so I may even called Ryan out, and I'm just like, what? Do you think that like that you're gonna make it just because I made it? And then I don't know what came out of that. But going into Comedy Sports, like because even though I'm on the team, you're supposed to retry out, right? And so I still was rooting for Ryan to make the team, but a part of me on the inside wanted for him to find out how hard it was going to be. But so we get to the day, and it turns out there's a girl. And we'll call her.
But mind you,
Patricia.
Before I was hyping up the Comedy Sports tryout so much, like I listened to Redbone's "Come and Get Your Love" before on the way there because I liked Guardians of the Galaxy at the time.
Oh my god!
And me, please.
That was your first mistake.
Yeah. It was my first mistake, and I'm like, I've got to get in the mood.
Right.
So there is this girl named Jeanette. Not Patricia.
Okay.
We moved on.
Jeanette Eagle.
Yeah, so Jeanette. So apparently Ryan knew Jeanette. I didn't know this, but Ryan knew Jeanette. And Ryan, I don't think at the time liked Jeanette.
She's a bitch.
Yeah, there you go. So Jeanette had her Panda Express, right? She had her Panda Express, and she was eating her Panda Express. And
she had a drink.
And she had a drink.
She ordered a drink that day.
Right, I'm sorry.
Cherry
You
Coke.
look pretty broken up right now.
Break me, please.
Okay.
Break me in half. This is where I get over my issues right now.
So, we're doing it, and we do the game. Yes. What's the yes and game called? Is it just yes and?
Where it's just a singing and you just keep saying yes and?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just called yes
so
and.
So we're doing the yes and game, and Ryan, I go up there and I do all right. I think my junior actually did pretty solid in the practice, so I did good.
Are you going to that part of the story where I...
Well, I'm gonna get there soon, but I'm just telling...
because I knew the game we played.
Well, yeah, we're not at that part yet. But so we play yes and Ryan does okay, nothing memorable, but Ryan does okay. And so I'm on my inside, I'm just like, yeah, it ain't so fucking easy, is it now, huh? Because I remember I did well in that game, and Ryan didn't do well, and it fed my ego and my pride. My junior year ego. So like what you said, right? When you think that people are challenging your humor, your comedy. Because if somebody said that to you to challenge your humor, wouldn't that upset you a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're the same in that way.
Yes.
Because I don't like people challenging.
It would make me want to just like prove them so wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that's why in that moment I felt good. But what game was the game that you played? Go ahead. You go ahead.
It was the one where it was my movie.
My movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were...
That could be a
But then
train wreck.
again, that group that I was stuck with,
We're good.
no.
Okay. So they were playing a game called My Movie. In My Movie, so everyone says my movie, my movie, my movie, and then the referee will point at a player, and the player will have to make a fake movie title, like Lampera, and then
Oh,
and
really?
then-
Yeah.
and
That's
then-
the one you're using.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
so Lampera is the title, and then if the referee takes his hands and then pulls apart, like he's pulling apart some string cheese, you're gonna get the tagline in the movie, and it's gotta be a fake tagline. So it's gonna be.
Oh, it has to be fake.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's Lampera, the story of a lamp. And so that was awful. But then they would say, if they liked it, they'd say, let's see it. And then you have to act out a scene, the climactic scene of Lampera, a story of a lamp.
Yeah.
So Ryan was working with his team, and they were doing a scene. And would you like me to explain it, or would you want to explain
No, please. I probably would not.
it? Okay, so
I probably would have
Ryan,
had some details.
So Ryan didn't really have his
Speak towards the mic.
blocking down too well, because when you're doing a scene, you're supposed to stay at the front of the room where the stage is supposed to be. But Ryan somehow ended up at the back of the room, next to Patricia, next to Jeanette's food and drink, and somehow in his spinning joke, Ryan swings his hand backwards and knocks Patricia's drink right down.
All over the goddamn
All
floor.
over.
Is
Yeah.
it, wait, is it soda?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a soda.
Dang.
It's a
And,
soda.
and Patricia just like she doesn't say anything. She just glares. And Ryan just like he like kind of chuckles, but he's like, I don't know if it was because he was nervous or it was just a moment, but he didn't pick the drink up. He just left it.
You just let it sit.
Did I leave it?
Yeah, you left
Did
it.
I fucking leave
You
it?
left
Fuck!
laying down. And-
What was I thinking?
Now you're gonna keep remembering that part,
But
huh?
you committed to the scene, so you kept going. But the scene wasn't funny.
Wait, the scene kept.
The scene kept
he
going.
He didn't like say, "Oh, sorry." And
No, there was no sorry. There was no pick up the drink.
Okay, I do believe I said sorry.
No, you didn't. You just went. You like made you like looked and you were like, oh shit, but you didn't say anything. You were just like or something like that. Then you continued your scene, and I remember because I just went like.
It's like when the set in a Broadway play breaks, and you're just like, all right, fucking keep going.
Exactly. So then. You know, we had the rest, and the rest of it wasn't memorable for Ryan, probably, right?
No.
Wasn't very memorable.
No.
And Ryan was really upset because he really wanted to be on the comedy sports team.
No,
And so
I
it
not
was-
after that point.
Well, not after that point, it was ruined because he felt he didn't.
I could never face those people.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because he felt like it ruined his. It just ruined the whole thing. It was ruined. But, I feel like here comes asshole Andrew. So, Ryan got the email that he didn't make the team, and you know Ryan's my buddy. I'm upset, but inner Andrew is
Andrew
like,
makes the team.
yeah. What I fucking say.
What did Jeanette Eagle say about me?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nobody said anything about you.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
In front of you or in front of him. Behind your back. That's a different story.
They only wrote it in my dream journal. But, so I would, sometimes, I remember in the Skype call I gave Ryan some shit, and then, you know, over...
You gave me some
the
shit in
next
front of
3
our
years,
teacher. And my teacher got Devaney?
In front of
Do you remember that? Like Mr. Devaney, because he knew I was excited. Mind you, I had this teacher for 4 years. This is my 4th year having him, and I was really excited about trying out for the comedy sports team. And I was sitting next to Andrew when he asked me. He's like, "Oh, how did the tryout go?"
I was there.
Yeah, and then I was sitting next to Andrew.
Oh,
and
did I
you
say it
fucking,
like that to be
Yeah, and
sarcastic?
you were like, yeah, and you started laughing at me, and Devaney, and I had my head down, and Devaney just gave you like the biggest fucking glare.
Not gonna lie, like, Ryan, yeah, it went really poor for you, and, like, I'm sorry that happened, but in the moment, I think you deserve
I'm
it
happy
a little bit.
I'm
I
happy
think you
that you're
deserved it a
happy
little-
that this is gonna stick with me probably for the rest of my life.
If
You deserved it a little bit.
Yeah, if it makes you feel better, I'm pretty sure the only reason I made it was because we were playing a game where it's like it requires big motions. It's called What You Got,
Yeah.
and it's basically like you make like a we will We Will Rock You kind of like style, like.
Yeah, no, I remember fucking up in that game too.
No.
I remember not coming up with a third thing.
Oh yeah, I hate that game.
It's hard.
It's tough. It's tough. It's like easy, but it's tough because you try really hard to be funny, and usually what you say doesn't come out funny at all.
Yeah,
that's why I don't like it. But
I said,
anyways,
the thing was like the past.
That's
really
vague.
I said,
I'm so sorry.
I said eating a ham. Do you remember that shit?
Oh, John, yeah, you were there too.
Yeah, Sean and I were there.
Yeah.
No one made the team.
Yeah, none of us made the team.
Yeah.
Except Andrew. Just Andrew.
Okay, anyways, so at the time I'm on crutches, and in this game you have 3 backup dancers, and whatever motion you do, like let's say you get like Christmas as your suggestion, and you're like, I'm hanging up an ornament, and you have to like motion, you're hanging up an ornament, and your 3 backup dancers have to do that, but like way exaggerated, you know, they're there to hype you up, and since I was on crutches, like the movements, I didn't do them, like at all, like I don't even remember what I said. I'm pretty sure like it was like. The suggestion was like clothing or something, and I was like, I'm tying my shoes. And since I'm moving forward on crutches, all my backup dancers, they don't improvise and tie shoes. They copy my exact movements, so it looks like there's 3 people on imaginary crutches right behind me. So, and that apparently it made everyone laugh, and I think that's the only reason why I got on.
Well, you were also very good at puns.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that's just a lot of practice.
Nate's always been great at puns.
Okay.
We have a lot of high school embarrassment to get through.
Yeah.
Jordan?
So you guys might have had embarrassment because of something you guys did. This is something that happened to me, which wasn't necessarily even my doing.
Yeah.
So me, sophomore year, I have a friend who I'm friends with now. And we laugh about this a lot, and he's probably gonna listen to the podcast, and he knows who he is. But I'm gonna call him Hernandez. But he knows who he is. But so sophomore year, we're in strength and exercise, and I didn't really know him that much.
Yes.
And so yeah, I didn't really know him that much, but we were kind of becoming friends. And so we used to just piss each other off. It would just make each other laugh. And so one day we had a game. And so we had this game where because we are, young masculine men.
Strength and exercise, masculine sophomore high school.
We as big, because he was a junior, I'm a sophomore.
He was bigger than me.
Yeah, we were pantsing each other.
Oh,
and it was fun and games, because
subhuman.
Yeah. And it was fun because the whole class wasn't, because we were all it was so we were just doing, everybody was doing each other. It was really funny, and the whole period is going on, and our professor, our teacher, our coach was like, hey guys, knock it off.
And the coach was like, just kidding.
And so we do our workouts, we do our stretching, everything.
He sucked his penis.
And so right before class ends, he's like, he huddles everybody up, and he's like, all right, guys, I need to talk to you. And so I'm, of course, right in the front, in the middle. Everyone is around looking at the coach.
No.
And, he's like, all right, you guys did great. I'll see you guys on Monday. Remember to do this and that. As he's going, everybody's, because I'm right in the middle. Hernandez runs up, goes, pulls my shorts down, except he pulls more than the shorts in front of everybody and the professor. And it's one of those things where you just take a second to be like, wait a second. And
there's more breeze coming through than usual.
I just look down. I'm like, wait a second. I don't
have a penis.
I just hear laughter from every direction. I just quickly pull him up. I look at my coach, and he's just blood boiling red. He is so angry, and he's like,
wait,
both of you.
At you?
Yeah. Okay, thinking about this now.
The coach just looks and just goes.
Just looks down. He's like that's disappointing.
It was he was so mad. It was just an immediate you two in my office now. We everybody goes laughing and stuff. we walk in, and he gives us this big spiel, like are you you feel ashamed for doing that? He's like, and luckily we were friends. So he's like, oh, do you want to take him to the principal's office? And I was like, nah, we're fine, And so he was like, he's like, oh, and I forgot what he said exactly, but he was like, he's like, he kind of like, he felt bad. He's just like, because there's nothing, but like then on, for like a good couple weeks, everybody just kind of gave me that like look,
Oh yeah.
One of my friends hates you.
Oh
for
yeah,
that moment. Well, don't name drop him,
Yeah.
but like, that he doesn't hate you now, but he was just like, yeah, that jackass got fucking like those two were pantsing each other all the fucking time. And one time, his
he
box
did not
just came
like
down.
me too much.
Yeah, no, he was fed up, but I'm sure he's put it past him.
Yeah.
Hernandez pantsed me too.
Did he?
Yeah, he did in front of my crush. Well, I'm actually gonna get into it in a sec. But yeah, he pantsed me in front of her house. We were all talking in the driveway, and we were all wearing pajamas, and he pulled my pants down.
Me too.
Oh yeah?
No. I think that was a different Hernandez.
When you said Hernandez, like, came up and pantsed you, like, it took me a second, but I thought you were talking about Mr. Hernandez. Do you know Mr. Hernandez?
Oh my god.
Is he a math teacher?
No, history
CCP.
and CCP.
And he's a football coach.
I've never had him.
But just like,
That's funny,
it's this big ass Mr. Hernandez.
We have two more people
Yeah.
in this circle of embarrassment.
When I was at my crush's house, this was the one that I mentioned earlier. We are having a big beginning of summer pool party, and we were having a really good time. And I was really digging her at the time. And one of our friends was like, "Oh, we should go get like pool toys or whatever." And my crush is like, "Oh, well, I have some in the garage. Does anybody want to come with me to go get them?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go." So I get out of the pool, and I'm wearing, of course, a swimsuit, a swim shorts.
Full-on wetsuit. He brought his boogie board into the
I have my
pool.
diving gear, because I'm certified scuba. And
It's because he's white.
Alright, so she says, "Oh, they're in the garage," and I say, "Okay, I'll go with you." So we go to the garage, and I should mention that there were a bunch of adults at the party, because they had invited a bunch of the neighbors and friends of the parents.
Make sure none of the kids automatically starts having sex and, on the chairs.
You know how it goes. So we go to the garage, which is connected to the kitchen, which is that's where most of the adults are congregating. So the garage door is open, so you can see right into the kitchen. So we go in, and my shorts, they have like the kind of Velcro with the elastic strap. And so the Velcro, my shorts were kind of like, I think they were too big at the time. The Velcro part, which is right on the crotch, like right above the pee-pee, it's kind of like stuck out a little bit, and I've been trying to like fidget with it like kind of all day, but it's like really stuck out now, and I'm not really able to adjust it because like she's kind of looking, and I'm like, oh, it's like my dick. So so she goes over, and there's pool toys right by the door. And so she's like, "Okay, here we go." So she goes and she bends over, and she's wearing a bikini, of course. And I'm standing right behind her, and we're in the doorway, and like all of these adults are looking over, and all of a sudden my shorts shift, not because of me, but just because of the way I shifted my body a little bit. And you can hear the Velcro just start to like kind of unstrap a little bit, and it totally looks, because I'm looking at like her back or whatever, I'm not looking at her ass. I'm looking because I'm just looking that she's bending over and grabbing the toys. You know what I mean? I'm not making my case at all. But so the adults are
You're in
looking.
deep shit.
I'm in deep shit. The adults are looking at me as I'm staring at their daughter or their parents, friend's daughter, whatever. As I'm staring at her bend over to grab these toys, and the elastic stretches a little bit, and it kind of flops a bit. And you don't see anything, and I will, to the day I die, I will swear by this. I did not get a boner that day.
To no girls.
Yeah, to no girls.
All women.
But the next day.
That's the difference.
That's when you guys hung out.
But the strap, it totally looks like I had a boner. Like, totally. And I can just imagine what it looked like as this girl is bending over, and I'm just standing there.
Did you tell her that?
No, I never told her that.
Was it one of those moments where you were like, you didn't realize the embarrassment then until like it had to process and you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah, kinda. Because it was like, I could kind of see the adults looking at me, but not really like realizing, like, that's, whatever. But,
They were gonna look later. They were recording.
oh yeah. But, yeah, that was unpleasant.
Boner.
Can I do a middle school story? I don't have any
That'll be
good
fine.
high school ones.
That'll be because you were the king of high school. You were
I
the
wasn't.
Yeah,
No, like just like my whole.
At the top.
king. You were on the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
No, just like the thing about my high school experience was like just a bunch of things that just like nothing like majorly embarrassing ever happened to me. Just like little embarrassing things.
You
of just
fucking lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah.
No, but like as in like I constantly felt embarrassed for just like little things that weren't like. It's not like anybody fucking pulled my non-penis out like Jordan.
And my penis came off too with the pants.
Wait, you pulled my penis off. But like, yeah, nothing like that ever happened to me in
But
high
what
school.
about middle school?
Middle school happened to me, like the van story.
Wait,
Have I
what?
told this on the podcast?
Wait,
No,
the
you just
van?
told Grayson and I.
Yeah.
The van?
No, you told me too.
The vans.
So
Oh, like shoes?
Like, yeah.
okay,
Alright.
so 6th grade, waiting after lunch to go to Mr. Sheffield's class. So I actually had Mr. Sheffield for 3 periods. So 6th grade was weird because I had this teacher, Mr. Sheffield, for 3 periods, and somehow, like almost every kid in the class, I had the same. Like for all 3 periods, we were all the same.
Yeah.
For 6th grade, which is weird to me, but I don't know. It was the only time I ever had it like that, and so there was a lot of Mexican kids in that class. And
Oh,
no,
come
The
on. No.
third racial-based story.
No, like this is a real thing. I feel like a lot of Mexican kids in middle school are very cruel,
Keep in mind, Andrew's half Mexican.
and I am half Mexican.
And half
He's,
Persian.
But,
he's allowed to say half of that.
Yeah, so I'm half Mexican, and like I don't know, maybe it made them dislike me more because I have like light skin, and I would tell them that I'm Mexican, and I guess that just like made them feel
They're
like
no, you're not.
no, they're trying to prove me wrong. So
They're like, eat this whole bag of hot Cheetos.
couldn't do
You
it.
couldn't do it.
I need my Fritos. Okay, but so they were just really cruel all the time, and I really didn't like those classes, and also Mr. Sheffield was mean to me, but I don't know. So I'm waiting to get to class, and there was this short Mexican kid named Christian. That's his actual name. Sorry.
Wow.
But
But how many
but I
Mexicans
don't
are
know anything
Christian?
about him. So yeah, how many Christian Mexicans are there?
Yeah.
They're all good. Yeah,
They're all
so-
Christian.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. every little like
Yeah.
thing it could possibly be.
Okay, so Christian has his like friend group, and they're all it's just all a bunch of boys, and they're all Mexican, and they all like walk up to me, and Christian's at the front, and Christian just says, "Yo, man, nice Vans," and I didn't know what he meant by that because I looked at my shoes, and they weren't Vans. They were just, like some Payless brand that my mom bought. I didn't care about clothes, right? So I just went, "Oh, they're not Vans," and he just went, "Yo, dog, nice Vans," and I just went, "No, they're not Vans. I don't know what they are, but they're not Vans." And he's just like, "Yo, dude, you see that guy's Vans? Those are nice Vans." And then Edwin goes, "Yo, those are nice Vans, dude." And then like they try to shake my hand. I'm just like, "They're not Vans. I don't know what you're talking about." And this goes on for like a few minutes of like them just going, "Yo, dude, can you tell me where you got your Vans? Like I don't know where you got your Vans." And I just like started like just like, "Yo, guys, can you stop? They're not Vans. Like I don't know what you're talking
You're getting
about."
really mad.
No, and and I just started like they kept going and they kept pushing it, and I don't know. I started to get emotional, and I literally like they kept going, and I started to cry. And so I started crying, and then Mr. Sheffield got to the door, and I went up to Mr. Sheffield, and I said, "Mr. Sheffield, they said I have nice Vans, but they're not Vans." But you know,
What grade was
said,
this?
I said something 6th grade.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I said something along those lines. I said something
this was
along
yesterday.
those lines, and they were like, and then Mr. Sheffield took Christian and Edwin out or whatever, and like he talked to them, but like, and then like I don't know, it just really like it's not as juvenile. It may have been that juvenile and stupid, but like it was obvious that they were trying to get under my skin. But I don't know why I let it get that far under my skin. And then, like another time in 8th grade, I remember I was in a class and there was again another Mexican. Okay, so it was this girl, and I don't remember her name, and there was this guy.
Christina.
No, there's actually 3 times. 3 times. Wow. I cried 3 times in middle school, and they were all because of Mexicans.
Well, wait. What middle school did you go to?
Marco.
Exactly.
Yeah, Marco. If anybody knows about Marco Forster Middle School, like, it's kind of rough sometimes. Like, kids are mean. Mexican kids are mean. Well, white kids are mean too. Like, it was both. Well, it may have been 4.
Oh wait, can I just interject?
I was an emotional.
You know the custodian that is like my stepdad's brother that you're talking about?
Jose works at Amville.
Yeah, apparently my mom asked him, "Do you remember Andrew?" And he's like, "Andrew?" And he like remembered you.
How couldn't you? I was so sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I was always very nice with him. I don't know. I liked Jose a lot. So
You were friends with like the janitors.
Those are my only friends.
They'd find Andrew hiding in the broom closet, and they'd be like, "I'll be your friend. That's okay."
They're like, "Hey man, your Vans are pretty dope."
I'm sitting in the broom closet with Jose, and he just keeps saying, "Nice Vans." And I'm getting. That's why I hate Vans today.
You hate Vans.
I hate Vans so much.
That's probably why.
Guys, I hate Vans a lot. Vans suck.
They're just like, he just walks in. He's like, "Hey, I don't think they're Vans." And you're like, "You mean it?"
No. What if he's just like, "Hey man, they did the same thing to me." That's why he's in the closet, like hiding.
Oh my god.
Instead of wearing a brown bag over your face, do you wear it over your shoes?
Alright, but,
No.
okay, so let me talk about my other 2 times. It'll be quick. Okay, so in 6th grade again, there was this girl named Maribella, and Maribella was I felt like she was making fun of me, right? She was making fun of me, and she was calling me stupid or something in class, and I just said, and I wasn't good at insults, like, I don't know. So the only thing I could think of is like, well, at least I don't look pregnant.
Oh!
She was skinny. She was so skinny. I don't know why. Like, no,
Were you thinking like,
no.
Mexican?
What?
Did your mind go there? Did your mind go there at all?
I don't know. I just literally.
I don't know.
I was just mad. She was pissing me off. She was being mean.
You can never
so-
run for office ever.
So she called me a bunch of names in Spanish. I didn't understand. Didn't bother me, right? But like she annoyed me and it made me annoyed. So I said the meanest thing I knew how to say, and I didn't swear back then in 6th grade. So that's what I said. When we get out of class and school's over after this class, she goes out and she kicks me in the dick. But like from behind, so I'm leaving and she kicks like from behind.
Oh my
Wait, how does it
God.
only hit your
Because
penis?
she tried to hit there.
What-
She went in between
what-
my
Like
legs.
the toes. The toes come through.
And
so
so,
like you get the reach with the toes.
so I start,
okay.
I didn't cry. So when that kind of stuff happens to me, I don't know, like I just get emotional because I'm like, why would someone do this? It's literally like, it's not because it hurts, it's because I feel like insulted because somebody did that. And so I started getting emotional. I went inside. I told Miss Marcus, and so then Miss Marcus came out, and Mari Bell was running. She had run
Holy
up
shit.
all the way. So there's the portables, and then you have to go like all the way across the field, and then there's these huge stairs, and you have to go up the stairs, and then like your mom will pick you up there on the bus. I don't know. And so Miss Marcus runs out, and it had not been that long, and she just yells, "Mari Bell!" And Mari Bell's at the very top of the stairs, and she just looks back, and Miss Marcus is like, "Come here." And Mari Bell had to do the walk of shame back, and then Mari Bell had to apologize to me.
I remember.
And it did, like, I'm sorry that I like called you pregnant, Mari Bell. That wasn't nice of me. And we were both kids, and I forgive you.
And when
I
you
hope
are
can
pregnant,
forgive me.
I'm not gonna say it.
I'm not gonna assume so.
Yeah.
I remember someone kicked me in the dick in elementary school, and I got in trouble for it. Because what I like, she literally jumped off like a wall and
Onto your penis.
yeah, really, I'm not kidding. Like she stuck her foot out after she jumped out of the wall and kicked me right in the dick, and I'm like, you kicked me in the balls, and a teacher heard that and made me apologize.
There was a kid elementary school.
Oh my
and he would hurt himself because like I was like he was Asian.
Yeah.
All right. So
So he was really well liked.
Asians, Mexicans. Who do we have left? Who's next?
He was really well liked.
Cripples.
He was, but
I can make
anyways,
fun of those
he,
guys.
okay, no.
Wait, he would hurt himself because he was a.
No.
What was that?
No. So he was well liked because he was Asian, because he was really smart. And like
No one likes him. Wait, that doesn't make
I
you
don't
well
know
liked.
anybody that's like, yo, he's Asian. I'm good with that.
No, yeah, no one's
Okay,
like.
but
he
anyways.
broke the
Okay.
curve.
No, he
You
would
know, love him.
he would purposely like hurt himself, and then he would run up to like one of the campus people and be like, "He hit me," and they would like because they didn't like me because I was like rambunctious. They'd be like, "You're going to the office, kid." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, I have an elementary school story similar. There's definitely a huge difference between like high school embarrassment and elementary school embarrassment. Like in elementary school, like
if you weren't the fastest one in the playground, my
oh
God,
my God.
sit in the
If-
fucking
That was
corner.
me. I was
If you-
so
if you-
slow.
if you were 17 minutes on the jogathon, I mean,
Yeah.
but anyways, I was just gonna say like, at our school, like the main thing on the playground that everyone wanted was the swings.
Oh
Because our swings, like they were pretty like high
No,
bars.
they were.
They were really high, and the chains like went all the way down, so you could get like huge air
Yeah.
on the swings. Like they were like I would go on the swings at my school on like on the weekends. You know, that's how nice these swings were, and the one like the thing I hated the most in elementary school is when someone would, because the way you get a swing when someone's already on it is that you stand in front of them and you count to like 20 or something, right?
Yeah.
And like not all the lunch ladies were around to like monitor everyone's counting. Like there were like two lunch ladies. One was like Lupe, who was like carving.
Whoa!
That was a real name.
No,
That was
a real
that was a real
Come
name.
on now!
Come
I'm
on.
trying to do that.
But she'd be like carving an apple with like a Bowie knife, like in the corner. Like,
A Bowie knife.
Yeah,
No, straight up.
No,
Like,
she would.
was-
Yeah, like
yeah.
she would just sit in the corner, like and so she couldn't care less. But then these like, usually they were girls. Just. And
Watch
they
out,
just,
feminists.
they just ran up, and there was always this one girl. Let's call her Holly, even though her name was Sabrina. Holly would just always come right in front of me. Let's say there were two other open swings. She'd come right in front of me.
Bitch.
All right? And I'd be swinging, and I'd be getting like 10 feet. All right? And to a guy that's like 3'6", 10 feet might as well be 13 feet. And she comes up. She's not counting like 1, 2, 3. She's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. And then if I don't get off because I'm not gonna abide by her fast counting, she would point her finger at me, and this was like a Los Palmas like this is what you just did. If you saw someone do something bad, you would point your finger and go, ooh, and
Like an alarm?
No, it would sound
No, you
they
know
would
the
change
thing.
if it would like on like the degree of how bad it was, it would be like a
You go from-
varying like change.
You go from ooh to ooh. That's what you wanted them to
No,
know.
it wouldn't be like that.
Dog whistle.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like that. It would be like a race car chain, like ooh, and she would like do this for like 30 seconds, and then Lupe, like she'd always go get Lupe, and Lupe would have to like put her apple away and keep her knife out, and then she'd like then she'd like come up to me and say like, hey, and because that's like all she said in English. And then she'd yell at me to get off the swings. And I was so infuriating, you know. Yeah. Oh, here's another story. Same playground.
Wait though.
Okay.
Who was the jackass who decided to put wood chips in a children's playground?
Oh, we had sand.
Yeah, we had sand.
We had sand. So
Thank
we
God.
were good.
We had wood chips installed with a reed like refurbishing of the playground. So they
So
took out the
stupid.
sand and put wood chips, and it was like,
That's so.
fuck.
Imagine you lay on your hands.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
no,
doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I knew a couple of people that broke their arms in the playground after they replaced it with wood chips, and it was like, why did they do that?
Yeah.
That's awful.
Might as well just
The
replace
wood
it with like
chips just came in
granite.
and broke their arms.
Yeah,
Individually.
The best thing was like the rubber mats, because they'd at least
Oh,
bounce.
those are good,
Yeah,
Those are fine.
and they wouldn't get shit in your socks.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Real quick.
I hate it when the wood chips shit in my socks.
If I came home from school with sand in my socks, my dad would be
Beat you.
furious, and he would not let me go to Burger King on Fridays.
Damn.
Whoa!
I know, right? So I would slip up. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I would fuck up sometimes, and you know, some days John didn't get his little crown-shaped chicken nuggets, but I will always remember the sand and being like, well, I wish we had like rubber on our playgrounds.
Then I'd have Burger King every
Every
day.
Friday, yeah.
I wish I could take my rubbers to the plate.
Anyways,
I just realized
no.
I'm 20, guys.
This
That's
is where
fine.
people of every race are cornering you right now.
Anyway, that it just reminded me of like another story that happened on the same playground. In elementary school, we were pretty tight. You know, it was like a pretty small
Yeah.
school. Like we got along with each other for the most part. And there was this one like little kid. We'll call him Mark, even though his name was Eduardo. And he, man, like he was always like the guy that would like he'd like be sitting in like the corner, and with his like hood on, and he was like a good foot shorter than everyone else. He was like a good foot shorter. So like, but he was still so like intimidating. But it's like people would like kind of like joke about him, but in like a like oh, I hope he doesn't hear me, you know,
Yeah.
in that kind of way. And he had like those dark circles around his eyes, and he would just be like glaring at you, and it's like, oh my,
Where's my coffee?
no, yeah, exactly. And one time I was just like walking in the sand pit, and he comes up to me, and he's like looking up at me, and he's like, hey you, and I'm like, yeah, and he's like, want to see something? And I'm like, sure. And he rolls up his sleeve, and he has an Iron Man tattoo on his shoulder.
Oh.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's
prison.
No, yeah, that's game related.
prison.
and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I wasn't that enthused, and then that's when he like grabs like the little like corner of my shirt,
Oh my
and
god.
he like brings me closer, not with much force, cause he's like, you know, his bones are like chicken bones. And so he brings me closer,
He says,
and then he
show Tony Stark respect.
no, similar. He says like, you tell anyone, I'm gonna kill you.
Wait, was this like a real tattoo, or is it one of those like?
No. It was like one of those things you got at the bottom of like a Fruit Roll-Ups package or
Yeah.
something.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, and I'm just like looking at him. I'm like scared. I'm like, because I know he's done stuff. He's in second grade and he's like seen death. And like I was just like scared for my life. And I'm like, why'd you even tell me? You know, because I was afraid I'd tell someone.
Alright, guys, thanks for listening to the SuScast. It was a fun one, and we'll see you all next time. Again, I'm Andrew,
I'm John.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Nate.
and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace out. Alright, guys. Heath Ledger.
Oh, we didn't actually go over the rules of the game.
What is this game?
Here, I'll try to think of one right now.
Okay, so if
That's really
Heath
hard.
Ledger liked to make SoundCloud remixes, but he was also in the virtual world and he could catch them physically, he'd be a beat catcher.
Oh,
If Heath Ledger was a serial killer who targeted people who worked at EA Studios, he'd make jackets out of their FIFA leather.
What's another one? Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey crashes his car in a drunk driving incident in Beverly Hills. So now he is Halle Berry.
If Jim Carrey made a cameo appearance in the hit video game The Legend of Zelda, he'd be a Jim Fairy.
If Jim Carrey was a glass of milk that was in a room with no lights on, he'd be dim dairy.
If Jim Carrey was on Seinfeld, that could have been Larry.
If Jim Carrey had an online dating profile, the first 2 words in his description area would be thin, hairy.
Okay, last one. Bring us on.
If Jim Carrey hated the way people looked with their largest organ on them because of a phobia, he'd say skin scary.
And scene.
The summer nights, the summer nights.